Welcome to Inner Racing by Motorsport This is the audio version of my popular monthly free video series on mental skills in motorsport. I'm your host Greg, and I'm here to share with you practical insights and strategies to help you enhance your mental racing performance both on and off the track. So get ready as we dive deep and explore the mindset behind successful racing, and as we look at practical ways that you can sharpen your racing mental skills performance and gain a competitive edge when you go racing. Let's get started. So this week's video, I want to talk to you about performance versus results and the whole idea of outcome focus. So we're in motorsport, so naturally our attention can get drawn towards where we place, where we finish, the final result. But as many of you will be aware, and I've spoken to pretty much every driver and rider I've ever worked with, we are not responsible for the outcome. The only thing that we are responsible for is our performance. Because if I'm a karter and I'm on a grid with 40 other karters, that's 40 people who have a say in the outcome of my race. They may be faster than me. They may take me out. I might qualify first, lead all the way through the race to get taken out at the last corner on the last lap. That's not up to me. So to get focused on the outcome is to get focused on something that I'm not entirely in charge of. So that's leaving things up to chance. To get focused on the outcome is, we have a saying in the UK, which is to put the cart before the horse. And most cultures have a similar saying. But to put the cart before the horse is almost exactly the same as putting the outcome before performance. If I'm focusing on the outcome rather than focusing on my performance, I've got it back to front, because I have to focus on my performance and improve my performance to actually get the outcome. I can't focus on the outcome and not the performance. So this is where we get into the idea of focusing on ourselves. So we're not chasing somebody else's time. We're not chasing somebody else's performance. We're not investing everything in a binary outcome. Because when we focus on outcomes, you tend to get, I want to be first, or I want to be on the podium, or I want to be top 5. And that's a pass or a fail, you know. Many of you know I'm not a fan of the word goals, because a goal is either in or it's out. It's pass or fail. It's yes or no. It's a binary thing. It's a thing with two options. Whereas if we can spread our possibility for success, this is where we avoid the sort of peaks and troughs of binary win, lose. So many of you will be aware of, I'm a big fan of coming up with, well, what would be an okay result this weekend? What would be all right? What would be a good result this weekend? And what would be a great result this weekend? And a great result might be being on the podium. An amazing result might be winning. So I might have an amazing result. I might have a great result. What would be a good result? Maybe a top 5, top 6. Okay. What would be okay? Top 10, top 12. Okay. So all of a sudden, rather than having a binary, I want this or that, I've now got the option of, well, this would be this and this would be that. So I've got anything now between 1st and 12th, which is a far greater chance of success for me. Walking away from a weekend going, yeah, I got something out of that. When we get fixated on binary things, it becomes this very, well, if I didn't achieve that, the whole thing was a waste of time. And that's never true, because even if you're, like going back to the karting situation, even if the kart ended up in the tyre wall on fire with side pods everywhere and I'm standing there looking at this smouldering mess of metal and plastic, I've still learned something. I've learned what not to do. I've learned something about setup, something about driving skills, something about that track. So I'm still walking away with positives. So there's an old NLP thing that there's no such thing as failure, there's only feedback. And that's really true, because I will always be able to take something positive, something that I've learned from my weekend. So when we come back to this idea of results or outcomes versus performance, we always focus on our processes and our performance. Because if I improve my processes and my performance, then my results improve and my outcomes generally will improve as well. Or I increase my chances of a successful outcome. So when we come back to this idea about processes versus results or outcomes, it's always about what can we do about our own performance, our own processes. And by improving that, our results will improve. And when our results improve, our chances of a successful outcome improves as well. So have a think about your processes and your performances, and how when you go into a session or a race weekend, are you focusing on the outcomes, or are you focusing on the thing that you do have control over, which are your processes and your performance? To go faster than the guy in front, I've got to go faster than me. I can't think, well, I should have been first if I wasn't the fastest guy out there. I have to be focused on the things that I do have control of, and that's me and my stuff. So think about how it applies to you and how you might change how you approach your weekend or your sessions. Of course, as always, any questions, any thoughts, just get in touch, and we can always speak about it at the next session as well. Until the next video, I'll speak to you soon. Take care. Bye. And that wraps up another episode of Inner Racing by Motorsport Mind. I hope you found this month's topic valuable in your journey towards peak performance in your racing. To stay updated with the latest content, be sure to subscribe to the newsletter, download the app, and subscribe to the blog. Just visit motorsportmind.com or follow the links.